Welcome to The Next Wave, a United We podcast for young professionals spotlighting young professionals and the impact they're making across the coastal bend. This is what's next.
Welcome back to The Next Wave, the Chamber's official young professionals podcast. With me here today, I have Jacob Granbury. Jacob, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So if you want, go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself. That way the audience can get to know you. I can get to know you just a little bit better. But yeah, go.
Sure. So I'm Jacob. I'm from Portland or Corpus. Usually I tell people Corpus Christi because they don't know about Portland. But I'm a class of 2026 at A&M Galveston, pursuing maritime transportation. It's a degree. It's a licensed degree to go drive big ships. I grew up on the water here in Corpus, doing surfing, sailing, anything that had to do with the water. It's me. I'm there. So just trying to find my way to the water my whole life is what I'm all about.
Got you. And so, I mean, like you said, you've been from Corpus. What kept you not getting tired of the water? I feel like a lot of people here really are like, you know what, the beach it's there, but I don't really want to go, It's like, what's the difference? I would say.
People ask how I'm able to just be by the water and I pursue it basically. And I can't explain it more than it's just a feeling, ever since I was young, when I was real young, I wanted to be a professional surfer. I thought that's what I'm going to do for a living. And then when I started sailing, I was like, well, I'm going to be a professional sailor. Not quite that good, but I enjoy it. So just that pursuit of trying to make it and be able to make a living on the water, really led me to this career that I'm starting to get into with maritime transportation. So
real. And so would you say that, I guess, that call is kind of why you decided to pursue that type of career?
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily the career makes a lot of money, which is nice, but if it didn't make as much money, I would still be doing it. I mean, it's such an incredible thing to get to go out onto the ocean and go from point A to point B, all through the knowledge that I've been able to learn over the years, just out there. I mean, it's just you're relying on you, the ship, and your other crew members to get things done.
So tell me a little bit about the program that you're in, that initiative. I mean, what is that like? What's it like going through that? I mean, what have you learned?
Yeah, so A&M Galveston's got a really great program where you join the Corps Cadets for 4 years. You start off as a fish. It's modeled a lot like College Station is. So as a freshman, you're called a fish, and you shave your head, and you have to set up your room a certain way. There's lots of it's a class system for sure, like many of the other military or service academies. But right off the bat, you're thrown into it. You still have to do your math, your science, your history, and all that. But right off the bat, there's so much to learn that you get thrown into terrestrial navigation. You get thrown into lifeboatmen. Everybody, before you sail on the training ship your freshman year, has to be certified to launch a lifeboat. So you're thrown into the hands-on stuff right off the bat, which is what really kept me able to drive forward. You don't want to. I personally have a hard time. If you're doing these classes, it feels like, why am I doing this? But this is just right off the bat, super cool stuff. So as you go through, like I said, you do all these maritime classes your freshman year, and then in the summer you go and sail on the training ship for 60 to 75 days, and that's really your first time where it becomes real. You're out there standing watch, you're doing maintenance, just working with the mates, the captain, learning everything you can. And then you kind of do that two more times after that. Your sophomore year, you get the chance to go on a commercial internship. It's a competitive billet, but it's that's been the most incredible thing, was getting to go and sail on a real working ship with 20 people instead of 500 people. My freshman year, we had other academies come on board. We had New York Maritime, SUNY, as it was, come on board. So we had a stacked ship. But yeah, it's incredible. I got to sail with a company called OSG. Got 92 days with them, and a PIC, which is person in charge. So to sail on oil tankers, you have to have that endorsement on your license. Otherwise, it's a lot harder to get a job. So yeah, more stuff you learn. You learn about celestial navigation, how to chart or how to plot on charts, on paper charts, as well as electronic. The paper charts are making a comeback because of everything that's going on in the world right now. But yeah, I just finished my freshman cruise, or not my freshman cruise, my senior cruise. This last summer, we got to go all the way across the Atlantic to Belfast in Northern Ireland, which was incredible. The Atlantic's very cold. Being from the South, I'm not used to the cold. And it was hardly over 65 degrees all summer, but it was a good time. I just took my license exams in January, which was a good time. I went 7 for 7, so there's 7 tests you have to take, and took them, passed them all the first time. So now I'm just waiting on graduation.
Nice. So, well, one, I want to know, what was that shock like? I mean, getting thrown into it and being on, training to actual professionalism. Like, okay, I'm actually on this boat and I'm here to do a job now.
Yeah. So it's hard to get prepared for it. The school does a good job, but you don't know how much you don't know until you get out there. And so that was definitely a challenge, but it really gave me an opportunity, because they when you go commercial, they want to put a lot of responsibility on you, because hopefully you're going to work for them in the future. So if the mates are good, they'll put enough on you that they're pushing your boundaries in terms of your skill, your professionalism. I mean, they would have us, me and my sea partner, we were on opposite watches, so it would be me and one other mate, and maybe an able seaman or something on the bridge, and they would essentially show you something once and then be like, all right, you got to get it done. So next time we're coming into port, get all the paperwork ready. When I come up to the bridge, I want to have all that paperwork ready for me, and you just got to go down the line and take good notes, I guess.
Yeah. So this is a Young Professionals podcast, and one of the reasons that it is a Young Professionals podcast is kind of just to spotlight how young professionals think as a whole and how we differ from our predecessors.
Sure.
Right? So what would you say is something that you've noticed that maybe you're better at, or maybe not better at, but just I don't know, I guess something that's innovative that you would say, like, hey, they've been doing this way, and I'm kind of thinking that this way might be a little bit better, and I get a little pushback on that just because it is a little different. And I mean, you have a very niche field, so I'm curious to see what that's like.
Yeah, I haven't had as much of a chance to have anything like that on specifically out on the ships. But within the Corps cadets at Galveston, I've had lots of opportunity to bring a younger professional's point of view, I guess, into things. One of the big projects I've done over this last year, I'm in cadet leadership. I'm the 2nd Battalion commander. So
congratulations.
Thank you. It's a lot to handle. I've got half of the Corps. There's 2 battalion commanders, and so I'm managing all of the company commanders and all of their people underneath them. But one of the things that I noticed is just how unorganized the Corps is. I mean, it's slowly been making a comeback since COVID. I mean, that kind of screwed a lot of things up, but super unorganized. Everything was passed down by word of mouth, essentially. And it's really hard to operate an organization by word of mouth. I mean, oh, well, what are we going to do for this event? Well, I think we did it like this last year. Well, do we have anything written down? No, we just figured it out. And to me, that takes away from the whole point of the Corps Cadets, which is, developing your leadership experience and like your professionalism throughout your time there. And if you spend all your time trying to reinvent the wheel every year, you're not going to have time to focus on what really matters, which is teaching and learning. I mean, as a senior, I've seen the Corps for 4 years, so I have something to offer to the lower class cadets that are getting into leadership. And I like to be that mentor for those people, but I can't do that if I'm constantly trying to figure out what we did last year for X, Y, and Z.
That sounds really, really chaotic. That's crazy. That's. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're completely right. Right? Like, there's absolutely no way if us as the chamber, if we for every event we're like, all right, well, I think we did it this year. Right. Let's go ahead and call these people and see if they're down. I guess.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. Right? You wouldn't be able to get anything done.
That's crazy.
So that's been my biggest project, is getting everything. What I've done is I've just, with the university, you have access to all this like technology, like Microsoft and Google and all that. So we've gotten a team channel set up in Microsoft Teams to get all of like cadet leadership at least in one place. Tried to bring some of the administrators in. They're a little less willing because they're from an older generation, so they're a little scared of the technology sometimes. But it's been good. I've definitely seen an improvement in our operations from just putting everything in one place and having everybody on the same page in that way.
That's nice. Well, like you said, you're from Corpus, so I'm sure that there have to be other people from Corpus that also love the water exactly like you do.
Yeah.
What's something that you would tell them if somebody's thinking about, like, man, I just really want to live my life on the water? What's my first step? What do I do?
First step, apply to a Maritime Academy. If you love the water and want to do it for a living or be on it for a living, go check out a Maritime Academy. A&M Galveston's a great place to go, but before that, if you're not quite at the college age, go out and get on the water, go fish, go sail, just go develop your love for it. There's so many opportunities on the water that aren't the maritime industry. There's marine biology, which is offered at Galveston as well as here in Corpus. But there's so many things. So to me, maybe it sounds corny, but let your passion guide your direction for where you want to go, and you'll find the right way.
Nice. I think that was really, really well said. Yeah, it's a little corny, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of things that, especially when it comes to like passion.
Yeah.
That's just how they are, right? They're corny because people really feel that emotion and they keep saying it over and over again because it's the truth. That's how it works.
For sure.
But yeah. So you talked about how somebody that is interested but doesn't really know how to get started, how they would start. What's something that you would tell yourself if you were younger? What's some piece of advice or?
Trying to think. I guess ask as many questions as you can from everybody. If I had to give a piece of advice to my younger self, I'd just say ask as many questions as possible. There's so many people out there with so much knowledge. There's so much to learn from everybody. And I feel like it's easy to get embarrassed by not knowing, but it's okay. I've realized that nobody really knows what's going on. Everybody's just doing their best. And so if you can ask as many questions as possible, you've got such an opportunity to learn from so many people. And I think that's super important.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I completely agree, right? I feel like that's the difference between people that, I don't want to necessarily say care, but the difference between people that care and people that don't.
Yeah.
They ask questions. They want to know more.
Absolutely.
Right? Versus somebody that's just doing it just to do it and be like, all right, well, that's it. I know the bare minimum and I'm going to keep my life that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on here. It was really, really interesting to talk to you because like I said, this is a very niche field and it's interesting. I mean, I never would have learned any of that. So thank you for coming here. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And thank all of y'all. We will see you next time.